Hello to my Aries. All right, Aries, let's get it. Let's see what's in your cards. Reading is for April the 16th through the 26th. Let's go. Let's see what's in your cards. Aries, let's go. You all know by now you rules first house. So any of my cross watchers, check to see what your first house, what your sign is in your first house. You want to learn your birth charts. You want to learn your birth charts. Hint, hint. You want to learn your birth chart. So for my cross watchers, you absolutely want to learn your birth chart. Your birth chart. Aries rules first house. First house is all about first impressions. Like, what are people's first impressions of you? Sometimes people jump to conclusions about first impressions, and they can be lasting impressions, right? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So the moon has moved into Sagittarius, and so Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of good luck, good fortune, like it's on the horizon. It rules Sagittarius, rules ninth house. So get real acquainted with your birth chart, please. For those of you all who are learning, I've already prayed over your cards. Let's get into your reading. So I am grateful for everything. So stay in the posture of gratitude for everything. Every day, posture of gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Stay in the posture of gratitude. Let's get it. Let's see what's in your cards. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Stay grateful for everything. Again, talking to you wherever Aries is in your birth chart. Wherever Aries is in your birth chart. So, 255, new choices. Changes are indicators. So, changes are coming and will bring new decisions for you to make. Your angels encourage you to greet these changes as assurance that your intentions are coming to be. Reflect on a negative emotion or worry that you've been ruminating on lately. Take time to visualize it withering into the universe and let it go. 255. So, two situations. Somebody has an innate spiritual understanding of how possibly the number two, when you see the peace sign, two symbolizes peace, right? So, how just sitting in something. The five connects us with the Hierophant, right? But it also connects us with the dark side of it, is like material, the material world. But having an innate spiritual understanding is on the light side of the Hierophant. Have an innate spiritual understanding of the material world. Material world can even be like this piece of cloth here. It could be this card. It could be this book. This is material world, like the physical world, right? Of how it could disrupt your peace. People, places, or things. The physical world, right? But there has to be a balance. Spiritual and the physical world has to be a balance of things, right? How it could disrupt your peace if there's an imbalance. If you're just focusing on just the physical and not a balance of the spiritual world. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. How it could disrupt your peace. Like if you just physically waiting to see something before you believe it, right? There's, operating by faith also, like sources sending you messages, just through in the spiritual sense too, like, right? So like, let's say for instance, you're saying, okay, I'm waiting on, like you're a very passionate zodiac sign, right? So source is saying, let's say you want to meet somebody new. And so it's saying, hey, I need you to be with self for a while, and I'm going to send you your new person. You're like, well, what's the harm in, seat fillers until my person comes along? So it's like, no, I want you to be by yourself for a while so I can, so you can really pour into you. So by the time your person comes along, you can tell that person exactly what your love language is. Right? So don't forget to pull your birth chart. Yeah, sit with self for a while. 7 of Wands. You can pray and meditate, so you can learn how to really get your downloads through meditation. Some of you all have telepathic gifts and haven't even halfway tapped into your telepathic gifts. Haven't even halfway. Y'all know what I'm saying, telepathic gifts. Y'all would say, I was just thinking about you and you just called, or I just thought you up, and here you are knocking on my door. Telepathic gifts, right? But it goes deeper than that. You haven't even drilled down to find out which telepathic gifts you have. Some of you all have telepathic gifts. Now that something is closed out, somebody's really getting ready to tap into those gifts those spiritual gifts that you have. Those gifts that you have. Right, that prayer warrior that you are, that prayer and meditation, like they literally go hand in hand. Prayer and meditation, they literally go hand in hand. and watch how big they grow, how tapped into people you are. A lot of y'all are tapped into your kids and don't even realize it, like across the world. Like, for instance, somebody, one of your kids, or maybe two of your kids, or if, how many kids you have, but one of your kids in particular, I don't know who I'm talking to, you could be a man or woman, but if you have kids, Aries, one of your kids is telling somebody how, like, they maybe not have talked to you in a long time, but somehow your spirit was calling them after many years, and they just showed up. They just showed up at your house, your front door, and somehow when you open up the door, you had been saying, I was praying about you, and they just showed up. Right? A lot of you all know how to call your kids via telepathy. A lot of you all know how to do that. I'm talking to men and women, Aries. That's how strong your gifts are. You know how to call them via telepathy. And that's a gift that was passed down to you, like, through the generations. A lot of your kids know how to call their kids via telepathy. But again, so it's just saying it's time to slow down and learn how to, really sharpen those gifts. So when y'all are apart from each other, no matter where in the world they are, whether y'all on a bus, you can call them, whether you're across the globe and y'all apart. So it said it's time to leave behind the divisive spirit and recognize no matter where they are in the world, they can't be divided, because you can't stop being divisive in families, because you can reach out to them via this gift. You stop dividing stuff. You can reach out to people via the gift that you have. This 5 right here, the symbol is bull. You don't have to be this fiery, bullying energy, this fighting mad energy. Your energy can be this warm fireside chat, because you can reach out via telepathy. Well, they'll call you. They will call you. Something about your energy, I don't know who I'm talking about, but something about somebody's energy. Somebody is like saying somebody is just too fiery. I don't know who this is for, but somebody is saying somebody's energy is way too fiery, and somebody doesn't want to come back. Two energies are saying they don't want to come back. Something is closed out. Somebody's saying they don't want to come back. So that's not necessarily good news, right? And I looking at your cards here, and I'm speaking to your highest frequency, and I'm gonna speak for the high vibrational Aries, because when people have had interactions with high vibrating Aries, so I'm gonna speak on that high vibrating Aries. Obviously, people have had interactions with low vibrating Aries, but let's speak on the high vibrating Aries. High vibrating Aries are very powerful leaders. Like, you all inspire people to be independent. Like, you all inspire people to spring forward. Like, you all inspire people to take the time to put extra care into how they come out the house. They don't just come out the house looking any old kind of way. And that's not being superficial. That's really just taking the extra minute to just get yourself together, because you don't know who you're going to come in contact with. That could mean the difference between getting the job and not getting the job. You can run into somebody, and somebody could be interviewing you on the spot, and you together, right? You got it together. I'm just being prepared. That's high vibrating Aries. Someone who is just very powerful, someone who's assertive, someone who is structured and authoritative. Someone who is not impulsive. Someone who is not, it's their way or the highway. That's a very low vibrating. Someone who doesn't have a God complex. Someone who is a prayer warrior and who doesn't prey on people's weaknesses. Someone who is not impulsive, and someone who is not going to just jump on a bandwagon of something. Somebody who doesn't act like a teenager, but who has a very youthful spirit, but is very mature. Somebody, no matter how far away they are from family, they know how to telepathically reach out. Um, Whether they're on a bus or across the globe. So somebody is now, from now on, never going back to that fiery, impulsive something. Because now somebody has an innate spiritual understanding of how that can affect two energies. So now somebody is saying they're grateful for everything. Somebody saying is grateful for everything. Grateful for everything. Of the effects of what bullying can do. Because somebody felt like their back was pushed up against the wall. Might poured out everything. Yeah. So, somebody's going to finally be able to get some rest. Somebody's going to be finally able to get some rest. Yeah. And I feel like somebody's going to take a leap of faith now. Somebody has the whole world in front of them. Somebody's going to be able to take a leap of faith. Somebody's going to take a leap of faith. And I see a soulmate coming your way now. A soulmate is coming your way now. Because somebody is now tapping into maybe because you all are also a very creative sign. Like, think about some of your favorite artists. A lot of your favorite artists are Aries. They're very creative. Like some of your singers, musicians, a lot of them are Aries. Somebody is now going back to like their childhood creative desires, like tapping back into some of the creative ideas that you all love to do in your childhood, like maybe picking back up instruments or songwriting, or maybe you've been wanting to write a book, but you're taking a leap of faith. Somebody's now saying there's a whole world of things out there for you to do. You got other stuff that you've been wanting to do. You tapping back into that childlike faith, those things that's been, that intuition, things that you just been growing inside of you. So somebody's not learning how to use their fire properly. But you're not going back to things that just don't produce a whole lot of results. The improper use of fire. So your motivation, or things that used to inspire you, don't inspire you anymore. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm seeing a soulmate, because you have a whole world of energies that's attracted to they're attracted to so somebody gonna be meeting, if you're not already in a relationship, somebody gonna be meeting their person. You all don't have a problem attracting energies. You don't have a problem attracting people because of all that you bring to the table. You bring a lot to the table. And I just see you taking a leap of faith. I see you taking a leap, getting some rest, finally getting some rest, and just saying, okay, I'm gonna just take a leap of faith, not a leap of fear. I'm gonna take a leap of faith. You're on top of a lot of things. So somebody's feeling lucky. Somebody's feeling like in their 10th house, your North Node. You feel like somebody gonna pull their birth chart and find out what your North Node is. You're on top of a lot of things. You're feeling highly, and you're in a very vulnerable time right now, right? You're feeling very vulnerable right now. You're on top of a lot of things. Somebody could be feeling like they're on top of the world right now, after waking up from some nightmares. To no longer invoke nightmares, you're going to stop talking about the things, because there's two sides of the sword, two sides of a sword. You're going to stop talking about, just like in a scary movie, you stop talking about the energies that cause you nightmares. There's 9 swords. So if there's 9 things that you feel like cause you nightmare, you're going to stop talking about those 9 things, whatever they are. Right? You're going to take a page out of people's book who just learn how to quietly move on from nightmares. That's what somebody's learning how to do. Is like when people quietly move through their storms of life, and people get suspicious, why they just quietly moving on? How come they not kicking up dirt? How come they not blowtorching stuff? Why ain't they just mad enough because some people, it's just exhausting. For real, it is just literally exhausting, blowtorching stuff. Some people just quietly move through storms of life. It's just exhausting. Some people just quietly move on. They don't become obsessed with blowtorching stuff. They just quietly move through storms of life. Just move on. They prayer warriors. They pray about it and trust God and just move on. And trust that God is going to handle whatever needs to be handled, and they just move on through life. And they go into hermit mode and heal. That's what somebody's learning how to do. Yeah. And they go and make multiple streams. If they go in there and quietly just think about multiple streams of income. Okay? Getting downloads. How can they create multiple streams of income? And surrendering to source. Go into a creative space, because in hermit mode a light comes on. A light comes on in hermit mode. You get a lot of inspiration in hermit mode. That's your quiet time. You move on, your light comes on in hermit mode. You become inspired in hermit mode. And that's what a lot of people have in common. They rise above the judgment. Even when people are obsessed with judging them, the light comes on. The light comes on. Yep. They're not looking for somebody to save them. They learn how to save themselves in hermit mode. So that's what a lot of people have in common. So you have love coming across your path, but once you go into hermit mode, you're not looking for somebody to save you. You learn how to tap in. You learn how to tap in and save yourself. That's where the breakthrough comes in, right? But see, that's where the breakthrough comes in, but that's also where you start asking why people, this is where the break comes in, because people are at that point thinking this is what you're going to have in common with some people. Now that source is putting somebody in hermit mode, right? This is where people are going to start asking questions. Why did you move on so quietly? Why did you cut people off? That's where people start going back through their memory. How come they not talking to people anymore? Why did they cut people off? People start becoming obsessed. They start making up stuff. Why did they turn their back on people? Who are they dating? Are they dating somebody? They become obsessed with that when people are just trying to heal. That's it. Trying to process these swords. Trying to process. Trying to get rest. This is what a lot of people have in common. Just trying to heal. Everybody's not they're trying to find out what motivates them. That's it. So for you, like I said before, that's where, when we talk about auric layer, this is where the physical realm meets the heart chakra realm. This is the middle layer. This is the heart chakra. And this is where it separates for a lot of families, right here at this heart chakra, right? Or people you consider as family. Heart chakra is one above the solar plexus. So heart chakra is the middle auric layer connected to your heart chakra, and it serves as the gateway to the upper chakras and the divine energies. This right here is the difference between a breakthrough and a breakdown, right? It could be breakdown in communication. We can give people a nervous breakdown. This right here. So when somebody moves on and people assume people have cut people off, and it can give somebody a nervous breakdown. And people can, at that moment, people can have a choice as to people judging them. People can operate in the flesh, or people can rise above the judgment, right? In that very vulnerable state. How come they would cut their own kids off? How come they'll cut their own parents off? How can they cut their own family off? and you are just trying to stop yourself from having a nervous breakdown because you're trying to heal from all these sword wounds. This is what you have in common. So a lot of people have in common when they just try to quietly move on from their life and heal. This is the gateway. This is the heart chakra. That's what you hear. Head and heart could be at war with each other, right? So this is Source is trying to tell somebody is like somebody has love coming across their path. When you have new love trying to come in, because somebody has new and exuberant love coming in, your exes try to come back. Some of your exes may try to come back. Ex-friends, ex-family members, whoever you're not talking to anymore. People have all kinds of theories as to why you're not talking to them anymore for whatever reason. Source is saying, rise above it. Rise above it. Rise above it. That's a choice. Move on. You're grateful for everything. Move on. Don't even be pulled back to the past. Cut ties and move on. Keep on moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. That's what Source is saying. That's your gateway. Don't sit on the fence overthinking it. Just keep right on moving forward. Don't invoke any more nightmares. Move on. That's what Source is trying to tell somebody. If you got new love in your life or new whatever, and you're happy about it, keep moving forward. You got multiple streams of income. Keep moving forward. That's what Source is trying to tell somebody. Keep moving forward. You took a leap of faith. Keep moving forward. It's the curiosity that will bring you back down to the flesh. That's what Source is trying to tell somebody. All right. Yeah. So somebody went through a dark night of the soul here. And now you're like High Priestess energy. That's what a lot of people have in common. A lot of people have in common. Are being dragged back into things. Dragged back into a nightmare. So you and somebody looking at the cards here are looking at something nostalgic, something nostalgic. Like I said, here is a Hierophant card. But you have an innate spiritual understanding of how somebody is just how they are just wired. Somebody is just very stubborn. Somebody is just very, very stubborn. That's just how they are, So some kind of a message is coming through. Somebody's an open book. So you got a message that's coming through. You have a message that's coming through. Here's the Emperor card here. And I see you adding structure and authority to something. Let me see. Yeah. So you're adding some kind of structure and authority to something. And emotionally feeling like you hit the jackpot. Yeah, emotionally feeling like you hit the jackpot. Yeah. So here's a Chariot card. So somebody could be at a crossroad, meaning you could be at a crossroad. Feeling like you could be at a crossroad, right? Here's the 8 of Swords here, right? I'm almost feeling restricted when you looked in the mirror. Like when you look in the mirror, just almost feeling restrictions, like they're not tight restrictions, just so we're crystal clear. It's like restrictions in your mind. But that's mirror work, like doing the mirror work. Somebody learning how to do the mirror. Like when you look in the mirror, seeing yourself as this, at one point, this dark entity in the mirror. And obviously we're not talking about skin color. We're talking about like this bad person looking in the mirror. But now somebody's seeing themselves balanced out as just, guess what? You're in human form. You're seeing yourself as a human being in human form. Right? So you're grateful for everything. Right? Here's the Ace of Cups. Right? Seeing yourself as a human being in human form. So you're creating something new. Creating something new, right? And just leaving the past behind. The past of feeling overwhelmed and behind because of your spiritual gifts. I mean, you know, like almost demonizing your own spiritual gifts. And that's something that somebody inherited. Like somebody's, I mean, it felt bad because of a gift of telepathy. I mean, not when people are saying they had a dream about fish and somebody in the family could be pregnant, like for real. Or somebody had a dream about a number. I had a dream about a number and a number hit. I mean, where's the shame in that? People are talking about it now even more. Somebody was overthinking something. There's an assumption that somebody was on their high horse about something. And somebody need to be brought down off of a high horse about something like... Yeah, anyway. So yeah, I'm looking at, like I said, multiple streams of income here. Multiple streams of income. Authenticity attracts, so being authentic attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. So when you stay true, you naturally filter out those who don't align with your path. Yeah. So yeah, so somebody has, somebody is creating something new. Somebody may have felt like their hands were tied, you know, at some point with something. But here we have mind power, lead with your mind. But that's what I have for you. That is what I have for you looking at your cards. But yeah, some new choices here. Some new choices here. Source really, really wants somebody to recognize how powerful their gifts are with, in terms of, like the prayer warrior gifts, and like stop moving so fast. Like that's the main thing, is like somebody, well, I think somebody will slow down now. Yeah. And spend some time with friends. Going through a rebirth. 4 and 9, 13. 13 is rebirth number. Somebody's going to slow down. Somebody's definitely going to slow down. Clearing. As true offering arises, it becomes easy to let go. You start to trust that more will always arrive. You shift from mind to God's. Such freedom. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.